Thank you. Nothing gets the Kiwi audience going more than being first in the world. So I was actually going to do, for my sergeant session today, some of Mark Woodard's greatest hits. And some of you may recall some of my earlier sergeant sessions that were kind of interesting. But my handstand was not one of the ones I thought about doing. But no, we'll save that one for another day. I thought we'd actually do the hottest topic of the week, which of course has been the 125th anniversary of suffrage here in New Zealand. And so here's the question for you. What triggered this was this headline that I ran across. To mark 125 years of women's voting rights. Which newspaper featured that one? Any ideas? Melbourne Age. Wrong. Good choice.
New York Times.
New York Times. No.
Irish Times.
Irish Times. I thought I might give the Irish Times a crack, but no, it wasn't the Irish Times. Anybody for the Le Monde? Yep. Good for you. I was wondering if I'd get any takers. Of course, it's not in French.
Morning Herald.
You couldn't afford that.
Yes. Washington Post, was it? Yes, yes, yes. So this is the picture, of course, that showed up in the newspaper. You've probably seen a number of versions of this. So there were four, that actually turns out to have been in four of the papers I just described. Any advances, Washington Post, I'll give you a hint, it's one of them. Any advances on which other newspapers around the world published that photo? Sorry? I can't hear you.
Globe and Mail.
Globe and Mail. Good choice, no. Sorry?
Economist.
Economist. Good choice, no.
Financial Times.
Financial Times. Good choice. Also no.
None of them. None of them.
Washington Post, we talked about already. It turns out that the three Australian papers all had it. And of course, since they're all run by the same company, they had the exact same article. So I'm not sure they really count. Here's some data on this, perhaps you may be interested in. Tried to figure out how to make this do in animation, but couldn't quite get there. There are 38% of women in Parliament here in New Zealand. I thought this was quite interesting. If I can do this. This is the PM or President in the case of the Americans, the Speaker of the House, and Chief Justice. So this is where we are in history. We've had 3 women, as you would probably, everyone in the room almost certainly knows. 1 Speaker and 1 Chief Justice that were women. The only one that gets to 5 is, of course, the Australians, and there were 3 speakers, only 1 Prime Minister, as you probably know, and 1 Chief Justice. And the laggards of the lot?
USA isn't doing well.
Yeah, what's with those guys, eh? What's with those guys? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, the gender pay gap, what do we think it is? People, 5%, 9%, 13%? Here in New Zealand. 13? 9? 9 is correct. Everyone else can pay up. Actually, everyone can pay up anyway. Actually, put this another way around. The women are exempt, the men pay up. Because you got 9% more than everybody else. Thanks very much. Get on with it. Here's a question for you. In senior management in New Zealand, how many women are in senior management roles?
38%.
38% is from 28. 18. Going down, down, down. 18.
60% government.
18% and in New Zealand, New Zealand across the board is correct. 18%.
What about government?
18. Well, see, here's a good question, right? This figure, 18%, is down 13% since 2004. Down 13% since 2000. Can you believe it? And right now, that 18% figure makes us 33rd out of 35. So one way to say that is we were leading the world 125 years ago, and we haven't quite kept up, I'm afraid. Just an observation. What the proportion of NZX directors are women? 19? 19 is correct. 19 is correct. Again, not exactly world beating, I'm afraid. But it's actually not just about women, of course. Diversity is much more than that. So, in the public sector, senior leadership that are Pākehā or New Zealand European. I always wonder about this because I suspect I'm counted as a Pakeha New Zealand European, though I don't count myself that way. But guesses? 81 to 90. Is that the consensus view? You can all be happy that you're right and put money in the sunshine box because that's not satisfactory, in my view. Right? Some money in the sunshine box, please. So that's a bit of observations about diversity and women in the 21st century as well as what was happening back in the 19th. And I would say one thing. I'll make one closing comment that maybe slightly controversial. But I will say that one of the things, as far as diversity goes, that the thing that makes me most interested about what makes New Zealand unique are often things that line up most with Maori values. So that's just my observation. Thank you. Yes, how many of us consider it satisfactory? And I would say, I hope the answer is no. Thank you.